Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Let's kickstart this meeting with a roaring sound of applause. I would request each one of you to please unmute yourself and let's clap for each one of us present here. Some more energy and some more louder claps. That was really energizing. Welcome to the 111th meeting of BKC Fireflies Toastmasters Club. My name is Purnima Kanoja. I am Sergeant at Arms for the meeting. It is my pleasure and honor to be the first speaker today. There are three things to aim in a public speaking. First is to get into your subject. Then to get your subject into yourself. And lastly, to get your subject into the heart of your audience. That's a famous quote by Alexander Graham. With this, let me head straight to the job that this role assigns me with. That is sharing the mission and the rules of the Toastmasters International. The mission of our Toastmasters Club is to provide a supportive and a positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in a greater self-confidence and personal growth. Let me quickly walk you through some of the instructions that we all need to follow here. So you are all requested to keep yourself on mute in case you aren't speaking. I'm going to be the Zoom master of the day. So any glitch, reach out to me. You can WhatsApp me. That's a better way of getting connected. This meeting has been recorded. In case you have any reservations, please do let us. Speakers are requested not to speak on sex, politics, and religion. For regular updates of our clubs, you can follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Once I finish my Cyril, I will be putting them in the chat. You can follow us there. You know, BKC Fireflies is really a small club and it's easy to find a speaking spot. To all the members, go all out and explore your speaking talents. And it is a great privilege. I'm about to introduce to you a roaring Toastmaster. Personally, he was one of the reasons why I joined BKC Fireflies. He knows it now. I'm really proud and I'm really happy to introduce our presiding officer of the day, Toastmaster Sai. Sai has been a Toastmaster for over 5 years. Right now, he's doing a very intelligent thing. He's building an AI tool for the entrepreneurs and for businesses. He's trying to discover the right customer personas who are most likely to get them business. This sounds like really sci-fi thing, Sai. With this, I hand it over to you, Toastmaster Sai.
Thank you so very much. There was a little bit of disturbance towards the tail end of what you were saying. So I'm assuming you were saying it's over to you now. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Purnima, our very energetic, very excitable and exciting Sergeant at Arms for the evening. Thank you for opening the meeting on time and getting us started. Yes, I am your acting presiding officer for the evening. It is my job to speak to a few guests, if there are any. I see guest Toastmaster Anand. Are you in a position to unmute yourself and share your screen? I mean, turn on your camera.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So, thank you very much. So it is a great pleasure always to attend the well-renowned BKS of Firefly Toastmasters Club. I've got a lot of insight on Toastmastering about how to give a prepared speech, how to do evaluation. As a budding Toastmasters, I have got a good insight from everyone. So it's it is a very I feel very happy to associate with this BKS Toastmasters Club. Thank you very much, sir. Over to you.
And we're always very happy to have you. Just a point of order. It is BKC. BKS would be Bandra Kurla something else, some other location in Mumbai. BKC is Bandra Kurla complex, and that's where we were initially headquartered. We've moved on because of the pandemic. We're now predominantly online. We have Cynthia as well. So Cynthia, 2 seconds from you. If you could tell us, have you joined the club officially? I don't know. Actually, don't know anymore.
No, I haven't, and I'm planning to immediately.
Okay.
Just waiting to schedule certain things, put certain schedules in place because of some global calls around the same time.
Right.
So that was what was stopping me. Yeah, I enjoy every single session that I attend, and that draws me closer to the decision-making process of being a part of the club. The talent each one displays just inspires me more and more to get more engrossed in it, so that I can develop my skills around public speaking and communication, as well as vocab elevation.
I mean, I'm just going to reiterate what Cyril says to you every time. I don't think you need any help. We're just going to be additive to whatever talents you bring to the table anyway. So we'd love to have you, and please do join us whenever you get a chance. What is exciting to me or interesting to me is that there are people all over the world whose life has to change because of BKC Fireflies, because you said you're rescheduling things, you're moving things around, just open up this time slot. It's very interesting to me to hear that there might be some person somewhere else in the world who has to wake up earlier or go to bed later or something like that because of this club that exists and club that you want to join. Exciting. We have a few other distinguished guests whose names I would be remiss in not mentioning. We have distinguished Toastmaster Arvind and distinguished Toastmaster Avinash. I'm going to quickly spotlight them so that everybody knows who these distinguished Toastmasters are. It is a requirement and a point of pride at Toastmasters to honor our distinguished Toastmasters every time we meet them, every time they're part of our meetings. So that's why it is my job to make sure that they're spotlighted for everyone to recognize and see. Thank you so much, Arvind, for joining. Thank you so much, Avinash, for joining as well. I am going to move on and take my job as the presiding officer of to a little more seriously. Last week, I had the privilege of being the contest chair for a Area B4 contest in District 125, which is an offshoot of District 98, which is what we belong to. So Toastmasters is spreading all over the country. There are divisions and districts being formed everywhere. There's opportunities for public speaking all over the country. If you feel that it's only BKC or it is only District 98 within which you can operate, that's not true. If you want, you can find opportunities to participate in club meetings. You can find opportunities to lead contests and events in different divisions and different districts all over the country, all over the world. Like we love to say at Toastmasters, it is a global organization, 145 countries. Hundreds of thousands of people's lives have been touched and impacted by Toastmasters, and yours is one of them as well. Feel free to reach out, and if you want to participate in events in other clubs and other areas of the world, please do reach out to either Cyril or myself. We'll be able to point you in the right direction. I want to talk about a topic which is pretty close to my heart, which is the importance of speaking well. Of course, we are part of Toastmasters, and that's why we're here. And speaking well is important to me and to all of us at Toastmasters. And one thing that is an adequate addition to your speaking repertoire is the use of quotes. So one of the person I love to quote the most is Oscar Wilde. He's one of those guys that for any situation, under any circumstances, if you want something to say, you can't go wrong by searching for either Oscar Wilde or for Mark Twain. You'll always find something interesting that they've said about any situation. So the other day I was watching a stand-up comic, thinking about, okay, let me tell you the quote, and then I'll tell you what this comic was saying. So Oscar Wilde was obviously had great self-regard. He used to think that he was the smartest guy in the room. And one of his well-known quotes was that he said that I have nothing to declare except my genius. So this stand-up comic was talking about that imagine Oscar Wilde going through customs, and his job is to be witty and say something smart every time. And he goes through customs, and the first time the customs officer says, do you have anything to declare because you're coming through customs? And he forgets that he's supposed to be witty, and he says, no, I have nothing to declare. And then he's, oh man, I should have said, I have nothing to declare but my genius. And the next time he comes back through the same customs officer, the same flight, and this time the customs officer never asks him anything because he's seen him before. He's like, yeah, go through it. He just sends him through. So he's again very upset. This is a very funny incident. But one other quote by Oscar Wilde, which is really important and useful, is that a quote is an adequate substitute for wit. So if you don't have anything interesting to say at a given moment, look for the words and words of wisdom from people around you, the wisdom of the people who've gone before us and lived life before us, who can always share their insights with us through their witty observations and interesting takes on life. Speaking of witty observations and interesting takes on life, the theme for the evening is of a similar nature. It is about the evolution of language. And the person helming this segment of the meeting is a person who makes his living through his voice. And you'll hear his voice very soon. But before that, let me spotlight him and get off the spotlight. Our Toastmaster of the day for the evening is Toastmaster Cyril Paul, who like I said, is a voice actor. He makes a living through his voice. He was, before that, in a previous life, an investment banker and a private equity specialist. But he's left all that behind and he's chosen to go with art and make his living through his voice. And that's what he's going to share with us. His theme for the day, he'll cover more of it, but it's on words. I'm hoping that all of us can give good attention to our Toastmaster of the day, and he will definitely have pearls of wisdom to share with us. Toastmaster Cyril, over to you.
Thank you, Sai. By the way, my favorite Oscar Wilde quote is, men grow old, but they never grow good. Yeah, that's the reason why he's called Oscar Wilde, isn't it? Come to the theme of the day, language, etymologically speaking. Now, language is that one superpower, as a VPPR Sai mentioned in the poster, that separates us from the rest of the species on the planet. We can talk, we can communicate. Language is that one distinguishing factor. But language, does anyone know how many languages are there in this world? Whatever number you're going to throw up, I'm going to add two more because there's ASL and ISL, right? You wouldn't count sign languages. I have no idea. There are thousands of languages. But the fun part, Sai, you were unmuting to say that. Were you?
Yeah, thousands.
There are thousands of languages. Now, the fun part about language is that it keeps changing. Every 3 to 4 years, you'll find some new text coming in, some grammar rule being revoked. Yeah, we have the pronouns which are being revisited entirely. And it's beginning to make sense for me, but it's still a difficult making sense that I'm going through. Words keep coming into the dictionary. Words get taken out of the dictionary. Word of the year last year was this phrase called Toastmaster Soumya. You'll have to mute yourself. The word of the year last year was quiet quitting. Quiet quitting means you quit here. You quit mentally. You switch off mentally, emotionally, anything with the job. You just kind of do whatever it takes to just scrape by, and that's it. The word of the year 2 years ago was COVIDiot, which means someone who just flouts the COVID norms. You don't wear a mask, you don't, do anything, you don't sanitize or whatever. COVIDiot, right? Words keep coming to the dictionary and words gets taken out of the dictionary. A word that was taken out of the dictionary was a word called cassette, right? I think some of you will remember that there was something called an audio cassette once upon a time. We had these millennials in the room. We had these things called stereos. You'd put audio cassettes in it, you'd rewind. It was a triumphant thing if you can guess how many seconds to rewind so as to hit the starting of the song, or fast forward. All right, these buttons that you see on the iPods, iPads, you don't even have the iPods now, right? All those buttons that you see on your remote controls had a certain reverence to them. Cassette has been taken out of the dictionary. So has the term VCD, video CD, DVD set out. Another classic term that got taken out was the term hark. Hark means to listen. All right, there's a Christmas hymn that says, "Hark the angels sing." Now, when a word gets taken out of the dictionary, doesn't mean that the dictionary size becomes smaller. It becomes larger because the word is indeed there in the dictionary and a term gets added next to it. It says archaic usage. So if you look up Oxford Dictionary recently, you'll find that cassette, archaic usage, a device on which, magnetic device on which you would store songs, blah, 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 media, whatever it is, right? A friend of mine and I were talking recently, and we're talking about the Ukraine war. And we're talking about the ICBMs, the intercontinental ballistic missiles. And he told me that it will be of interest that the term missile had a totally different meaning to it 2000 years ago, during the Roman times. During the Roman times, missile was something that the emperor would throw at you when you gather around him for a meeting. And that thing that the emperor would throw would be money, would be a gift, would be a souvenir in a public gathering when the emperor is there and there is all sorts of people around him. He would throw stuff. That's missile. And today, missiles, the meaning is entirely changed. It's a weapon of mass destruction. Another term. So this led me to doing a chat GPT session, finding out all those Roman terms that are used in English, which have different meanings than today, than what they had years ago, centuries ago. A word that I'd like to highlight would be the word decimation, decimate. Today it's used mostly in relation to sport. The Indian team decimated the Australians, right? The other way around most of the time, but it is sport. The better team wins. Decimation means you completely conquer the other team. You completely outmatch the other team. In the Roman times, decimation meant something else. It was a military term, like I said. It meant that you have such a strong victory over the enemies that you literally have the army stand up, the defeated army stand up. You take every 10th person from there, decimation, decimal, every 10th person, and you just you slash them to pieces. That was a bloody brutal meaning of decimation. Another military term that we still use today is the word triumph. Triumph obviously means victory. He triumphed over something. Truth alone triumphs. Satyameva jayate. Triumph had a very specific meaning. Triumph was a procession that the Romans gave the general who actually decimated someone. Somebody who conquered a nation, a region that was unconquerable. He's literally done the impossible, done a difficult task, and this was a welcome that they used to give. So during a triumph, they would be the generals, they would be the centurions, the people on horses, soldiers, the musicians. Caesar himself will come in that long procession, and following them would be the slaves, the prizes of war. And this would end in a feast, a public feast. And at the end of the feast, there would be a sacrifice. A human sacrifice would be one of the slaves as an offering to Mars, the god of war. Another term, again, a military term related to triumph, is a term ovation, widely used in Toastmasters. We give people a standing ovation when they deliver their icebreaker speech. Now, ovation also has a military background to it. Ovation was similar to triumph, similar to the reception that you gave to a soldier, general, but it's not a victory as resounding as a triumph. Some chotu-motu area here and there's some small area that when he captures and he comes back, that's a reception that you give. Interestingly, 200 years ago, people used to say that do not say ovation for anything. Today it means resounding applause and all of that. Ovation was supposed to be a small thing. It's not a triumphant thing. It's ovation. Don't say, don't give an ovation, right? Just give him an applause. Another term that I'd like to highlight would be the term salary. Salary also comes from the Roman times. Now, they say that there are three phrases that that working people love to hear. First phrase would be public holiday. The second phrase would be long weekend. And the third phrase would be Diwali bonus or Christmas bonus or whatever, bonus, right? Salary is obviously the fourth word. Salary comes from the Roman term salarium, and it means salt. Because way back in the Roman times, salary was given as chunks of salt. You would have salt given to all the soldiers, all the public servants. They would distribute it to everybody else. And salt was a medium of exchange. Imagine someone coming in today and seeing Tata Namak on the streets and wow, that's salt in packages. Man, this is a rich country, isn't it? That's salarium. Everything in the Roman times, they had a certain system to it. They had the Senate, they had laws, they had even newspapers. They had an early version of Twitter where people could come and write their comments on the wall. Similar to the Roman times, some of the things that we've inherited in Toastmasters, it's a system to the way we do things. For those of you who are new to Toastmasters meetings, there are 3 distinct segments to a Toastmaster meeting. One is the prepared speeches. This is when Toastmasters, usually club members, they deliver speeches that they've prepared, and these speeches are in line with their Toastmaster curriculum. We call them pathways. There are 11 different pathways, 11 different styles of speaking, basically. And we have projects within each pathways, and prepared speakers deliver their speeches. The second round is a very interesting round called the table topics round. And this is unscripted speaking, impromptu speaking. You're given a topic and you need to speak. You deliver a speech just for 1 minute. And today we have a very interesting table topic master, distinguished Toastmaster Avinash Singh. He's got some very interesting topics, and show that you guys participate in the TTM segment. The third and very important segment is led by someone, another general called the general evaluator, who has a team of evaluators who would be giving us feedback on every single thing that happened at the meeting, right from the opening segment to the TMOD segment to the prepared speeches to the auxiliary team players, everything that happened. The general evaluator will give us an honest feedback on what went right, what went wrong. I have 3 individuals who are going to assist me in conducting this meeting, and we just have one of them here. So, Sai, would you take the timer's role and would you share the screen while you're at it? Splendid. I'll take the accountant role. Let me introduce the third member, one of the members of the tag team. We call them the tag team because they function as a tag team. We tag each other. It's the timer, accountant, and the grammarian. Let me call upon the grammarian, Toastmaster Sandhya, to explain the grammarian's role and give us the word of the day. Over to you, Toastmaster Sandhya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Cyril, Toastmaster of the day. It's my pleasure to play the role of the grammarian in today's meeting. As the grammarian, my job is to look out for both good and not so good usage of the English language. We are talking about the English language in general, but there are many instances when we don't use the language correctly. So that's my job today. And my job is also to give you the word of the day, which I would encourage all of you to please use when you speak. The word of the day for today is gibberish. The word of the day for today, I repeat, is gibberish. It means unclear or meaningless talk. To put it in a phrase, my husband talks gibberish in his sleep. The phrase of the day for the meeting is to talk in circles. The phrase of the day is to talk in circles. The meaning of that phrase is to keep repeating the same points and not arrive at any conclusions. For example, to put it in a sentence, politicians are infamous for talking in circles about important issues. So I repeat, the word of the day is gibberish and the phrase of the day is to talk in circles. And I would encourage each one of you to kindly use both the word of the day and the phrase of the day when you speak. That's all from me. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day. I will present my report when called upon by the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sandhya. Let me call upon the remaining 1/3 of the tag team. That will be the timer. Toastmaster Sai, please unmute and spotlight yourself and do tell us the timer's role.
Yes, the job of the timer is to indicate whether the meeting is proceeding on time and also to indicate to our speakers whether they're reaching their allotted time, whether they've entered into the yellow zone, which means they're reaching the end of the allotted time, and also the red zone, which means they've gone past the time and they're reaching the end of the grace period and beyond. For our prepared speeches, which are 5 to 7 minutes, the allotted time starts, the green light starts at 5 minutes, the yellow at 6, and the red at 7. For the remaining 2 segments of the meeting, for the table topics and for evaluations, I'll give the time reports at those times. I will be sharing my screen, which will have a timer which will change time on its own. Speakers, please keep an eye out for that change. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you. Thank you, timer, Zoom master, presiding officer, and evaluator Sai, multitasker. Hats off to you. The last member of the tag team or the timer, accounter, grammarian team is the accounter. That's myself. My job is to count the filler words that you have. Not the filler words, the crutch words. Now, what are filler words? Filler words are anything that you use. Okay, I mean, basically all those little fillers that you use to fill gaps in your language. It's perfectly fine to do and a while, but when you overuse it, it sounds a little bit like gibberish. All right, I shall present my report when called upon by the general evaluator. Kickstarting the first segment of today, the prepared speeches round, we have two prepared speakers. Visiting Toastmaster Ruddhi Shah from Royal Orators, sorry. RG Orators, correct. Why do I remember that as Royal Orators? RG Orators Toastmaster Club. Let me call upon her evaluator, Toastmaster Sai, to read out her speech objectives.
Yes, my speaker has the following speech objectives. Her job is to practice applying feedback and applying feedback that she received at a previous speech into this speech. The purpose of the speech is for her to demonstrate the ability to deliver an effective, respectful speech. Oh, wait, I'm getting confused. There's also an evaluation segment, which she's not doing right now. So the purpose of her speech is to deliver a 5 to 7 minute speech, which incorporates feedback from a different evaluator of a similar speech given previously. Back to you, Cyril.
Thank you. Toastmaster Ruddhi, could we just do a quick audio video check? I saw that you've changed your... Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Am I audible and visible properly?
Very clear, very clear, very clear.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Ruddhi, hit or miss? Hit or miss, Toastmaster Ruddhi?
How many of you are fascinated by hearing someone's personal story? Toastmaster of the day and my fellow Toastmasters, I'm going to present my personal story today. And together, let's see how you find it. 35 years ago, my parents were waiting for the arrival of the second child. As soon as the doctor announced, congratulations, it's a healthy and beautiful baby girl. Both my mother and father were elated and were on cloud 9. But my grandpa was not happy. Why was he not happy on my arrival? Because it was the second girl child born to the couple. And it was the year 1988, where people have taken the government policy of hum do, hamare do quite seriously and stopped producing cricket match team. As per my family ritual, my father went to visit Pandit Ghanshyam and asked him to prepare my horoscope. So now, let me share what Pandit Ghanshyam had predicted and what I really am today. He predicted, will be bright in studies and have good future. Yes, I was bright. Sometimes I managed to get around 40%. See, the amount of brightness was not predicted by him. So I consider clearing exam to be bright. So what do you guys say for this prediction? Is this a hit or a miss? May I hear answer?
Bang on.
He predicted will deal with heavy machines. Heavy machine? Like in industry or factory? No. I deal with large heavy refrigerator, washing machine, dishwasher every day, which are heavy considering my weight. So what do you guys say for this prediction? A hit or a miss?
Hit.
He further predicted can go in technical field. My all friends and family are aware of my interest in technical item. Even at home, I manage smartphone, laptop, desktop, smart TV, sound system, and every other electronic gadgets. Though my husband is happy that I just manage them and don't repair them as technician. So what do you guys say for this prediction? A hit or a miss?
Hit.
Super hit.
He predicted can show interest in finance management and accounts. Well, this is 50% correct. I have no interest in finance management, but accounts, yes, I do handle Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Gmail, and all other accounts very well. So what do you guys say for this prediction? Hit or miss?
Hit.
He further predicted will deal with 2 children. Right now, I'm a mother of one beautiful angel, Kenisha. But practically, I do handle 2 kids. One, my own, and another one of, any guesses? Another one is of my mother-in-law. How many of you ladies especially can relate to this? He predicted can excel in teaching field. I have been a lecturer in college and a trainer at a coaching institute. And these days, as per my daughter, I'm a very good lecturer who always lectures her. So what do you guys say for this prediction? Hit or miss?
Hit.
So when I go back to this analysis, I found Pandit Ghanshyam's prediction were so true. Right now, I'm a homemaker, which means I can be a tech-savvy person, can deal with machines, can manage finances, and can be a teacher too. Looking back to this, his strategy, I can give him a score of 95%. I don't know about my career, but his career is totally a hit. I hope you all agree with this. In India, especially in Hindu families, we believe in our horoscope and expect the same things to happen in our life. I do believe to some extent, but we need to work hard towards achieving it. If a horoscope reads he can be a doctor, doesn't mean he cannot be an engineer, doesn't even mean he cannot be a businessman. And it doesn't even mean he will be a doctor merely by sitting on the couch. Before leaving the stage, I would like to mention one thing. Pandit Ghanshyam didn't predict anything about my leadership and public speaking skills, but I have started my journey towards achieving it. Of course, with the help of you all Toastmasters. Are you guys with me? Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Riddhi. That was a very, very well-packaged speech. In terms of your speech being a hit or a miss, I can assure you it was a super duper bumper hit, as they say in Bollywood.
Thank you so much.
Now, calling on the next speaker of the day, someone that you saw the very energetic Sa that we had earlier today. That's none other than Toastmaster Purnima, who's Toastmaster, Zoom Master, Speaker 2 Purnima, who's also multi-hatting today. Let me call upon her evaluator, our grammarian, Evaluator 2, Toastmaster Sandhya Krishnan, to read out her speech objectives.
Thank you again, Toastmaster Cyril, Toastmaster of the day. My target speaker today, Toastmaster Purnima, will be attempting her level 1, project 3. The purpose of her speech is to write a speech with a purpose. The project purpose is that she would learn to review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and present a well-organized speech on any topic. Timer, please note the time limit for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Sandhya. Toastmaster Purnima, are you ready?
Yes, Toastmaster.
Okay, you're clearly audible and visible. Is the timer screen visible to you?
Yes.
Splendid. Just reminding that the word of the day is gibberish, and the phrase of the day is talking through the hats, talking in circles. You can just check the chat on that. All right. Over to you, Toastmaster Purnima. Deja vu at 17. Deja vu at 17, Toastmaster Purnima.
It was a cold December morning. I woke up with a very heavy heart. You know, I knew that parting ways or, endings are going to be painful. But do you know the endings which kind of alter your life? They are completely different. the kind of those scenarios which end a chapter in your life, or maybe they give you those unknown dilemmas, or you just get infected with a void syndrome, they are completely different ball. So with a lot of thoughts going in my head, I get off my bed and I walk towards my dressing table. I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm trying to force a smile. The moment I tried, it just faded away. I go closer. I'm taking a look. There's a fine wrinkle around my eye. I don't know when this appeared. I take another look. My skin looks lifeless. My hair, let me tie them in a bun. They look frizzy. I have been complaining of this for a long, long time. As I look more, my flabby arms, they make me feel so conscious. My ever increasing waistline, it's definitely a matter of concern. I look at the clock and I know it's time to start churning the day out. The moment I look behind, there are these two little feet on the bed. I look again. Deja vu. I take a good look. They are not the tiny feet anymore. My boys have grown up. I look again only to realize it has been 17 years. 17 years just flew by without a realization. I looked at myself in the mirror and realized how I have been lying to myself. Lying that I'm a strong person. Lying that I have a successful career. Lying that I am a competent professional. At that moment, my entire life started unfolding in front of my eyes. One scene after the other, a replay, another replay, and a moment of realization set in. I have been putting everybody else first. My career first, my family first, the dog first, the maid first. Even the maid was on the priority list. I was nowhere in that list. While I continued to love everybody around me, I forgot to love myself. Yes, my friends, fellow